Welcome to our deep dive today.
Uh-huh.
We're going to be exploring thinking time,
Okay.
which is a concept from the book The Road Less Stupid
Yeah.
by Keith Cunningham.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you are really focused on making smarter decisions in your business.
Yeah, that's a huge one for me right now.
Yeah, and Cunningham, a successful entrepreneur himself, argues that that's the real key
Mm-hmm.
to avoiding those costly mistakes that can really set you back.
Yeah, I think I fall into that trap a lot,
Oh, yeah.
where I'm just moving so fast
Yeah.
that I don't stop to think about the consequences.
Right, and I think that's something that we can all relate to,
Yeah.
especially in the entrepreneurial world.
Yeah, finally
You know,
is.
we're so focused on taking action and making things happen
Exactly.
that we sometimes forget to just stop and think.
Yeah.
So Cunningham's premise, I think, is fascinating
Uh,
because he shifts the focus away from chasing brilliant ideas, which
yeah.
I think is often the trap that entrepreneurs fall into.
Yeah.
Instead, he emphasizes stepping back,
Right.
analyzing potential pitfalls,
Yeah.
and proactively mitigating risks before taking any action.
I like that he's focusing on the risks and the downsides as much as the upsides.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's often overlooked,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we're excited about an idea, you know?
Yeah, you get so focused on what could go right that
Exactly.
you don't think about what could go wrong.
And so how does this thinking time process actually work?
Well,
Cunningham outlines a ritual that he's developed over 25 years.
wow, 25 years.
Yeah, he dedicates a full hour,
Okay.
not to just any brainstorming, but to formulating insightful questions beforehand.
So he's really prepared for that time.
Yeah, he puts thought into what he's going to think about.
Right.
He revisits old questions, he explores possibilities, and he schedules multiple sessions
Oh,
to
interested.
tackle the same problem from different angles.
I like that because you're coming at it from a fresh perspective each time.
Right. And I think that's really the key to effective thinking time.
Mm,
It's not just about sitting down and letting your mind wander.
yeah.
It's about having a structured approach
Mm-hmm.
and really digging into the issues.
I see.
So the core principle here is to slow down,
Okay.
challenge assumptions.
Yeah.
Instead of rushing toward those quick solutions,
Right.
it's about deeply considering potential consequences before making a move.
I like that.
And not just the immediate ones, but the second, third, even fourth order effects of your decisions.
Yeah, that's something that I don't think I do enough of.
Yeah, and Cunningham illustrates this with a really clever golf analogy.
Okay.
He compares compounding mistakes
Mm.
to a double bogey,
Uh-huh.
which is, a bad shot followed by an even worse one driven by frustration.
Right.
He argues that in business, just like in golf,
Yeah.
mistakes are unavoidable,
Uh-huh.
but it's those impulsive, emotionally charged decisions that follow
Yeah.
that create the real problems.
Yeah. Right, because you're already in a bad spot
Right.
and then you make it worse.
And you just dig yourself deeper into the hole.
Exactly.
So the true skill lies in preventing those initial missteps from spiraling out of control.
Okay.
And that's where thinking time becomes so valuable.
Mhm.
It gives you the space to anticipate those pitfalls
Uh-huh.
and develop a strategic plan
Right.
to minimize that potential damage.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, you mentioned in your notes that you've been struggling with balancing different priorities in your business.
Yeah, that's a constant struggle for me.
Yeah, and Cunningham addresses this with his concept of the four hats of business success.
Okay.
And these are the roles that we all wear as entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
The artist, the operator, the owner, and the board.
It's interesting.
And each approaches decisions from a distinct perspective.
Okay.
So if we kind of break down these hats
Yeah.
and connect them to the bigger picture of running a successful enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
the artist is the creative force. The operator focuses on execution.
Uh-huh.
The owner provides structure and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And the board acts as the voice of reason, assessing risk and ensuring long-term viability.
So it's like having your own internal board of directors.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
And Cunningham points out a really interesting tension
Okay.
between the artist and the operator.
Mm-hmm.
So artists, often driven by passion,
Mm-hmm.
tend to be very control-oriented.
Right. They have a vision and
Right.
they want to see it through
Exactly.
in a specific way.
And operators prioritize efficiency.
Okay.
So you can see how there might be some conflict there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yet for a business to truly grow,
Uh-huh.
you need to relinquish some degree of control.
That's hard.
It is hard,
especially for entrepreneurs.
especially for those artist types.
Yeah.
And so what Cunningham is saying is that passion
Mm-hmm.
and operational excellence alone
Okay.
are insufficient.
Wow.
You need business acumen.
Okay.
You need the ability to analyze risk,
Uh-huh.
and you need a willingness to embrace diverse viewpoints,
Yeah.
which is where the board mentality becomes crucial.
Right.
It's about stepping back,
Yeah.
questioning assumptions,
Yeah.
and making choices that support the health of the business as a whole.
I like that.
Not just our own personal ego or our own personal vision.
Right. It's about the bigger picture. The
Exactly.
long-term vision.
Now, you also mentioned that you're looking for ways to create more freedom in your business.
Oh yeah, that's the dream, right?
It is the dream.
Yeah.
And Cunningham tackles this often touted concept of passive income,
Uh-huh.
which is, the dream of achieving wealth without effort.
Everyone wants that.
Yeah, and he debunks this myth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he compares it to ideas like passive health
Okay.
or passive relationships. They simply don't exist.
You can't just sit on the couch and expect to be healthy.
You can't just expect to have a great relationship without putting in any work.
You're right.
And he's saying the same thing about business.
I see.
So he raises this really thought-provoking point
Mm-hmm.
about the nature of success itself.
Okay.
And he says maintaining a thriving business.
Yeah.
He uses this analogy of keeping a merry-go-round spinning
Oh, wow.
requires continuous effort
Yeah.
and smart leverage,
Okay.
not a passive approach.
Interesting.
So it's not about eliminating work altogether.
Okay.
It's about finding levers
Right.
that allow you to work smarter,
Mm-hmm.
setting up systems
Yeah.
that generate income efficiently
Okay.
while still requiring active management and strategic decision-making.
So you're still involved.
You're still involved, but you're involved in a smarter way.
Gotcha.
And that ties into his emphasis on the constant evolution of business.
Okay.
So he argues that change is the only constant.
Hmm.
And he uses the example of Einstein,
Wow. Okay.
whose exam questions remain consistent,
Mm-hmm.
but the answers continuously evolved.
So the fundamentals are the same,
Right.
but the way you apply them changes.
Exactly. And he's saying that what worked yesterday
Yeah.
might not work today.
Mm-hmm.
And clinging to outdated methods
Okay.
can lead to irrelevance.
That's a scary thought.
And he cites some really striking examples.
Okay.
Like Sears, BlackBerry, and the newspaper industry,
Yeah.
giants in their respective fields,
Right.
that ultimately failed to adapt to the changing landscape.
So they became dinosaurs.
They became cautionary tales
Yeah.
of what happens when you don't embrace curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
humility,
Yeah.
and ongoing learning.
You have to be willing to learn and adapt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what's crucial is recognizing the importance of those qualities
Uh-huh.
in navigating this dynamic world of business.
Right. Because it's always changing.
Always changing.
Yeah.
You mentioned wanting to achieve significant growth in your business.
Oh, yeah. That's a top priority for me.
Yeah, and Cunningham delves into this distinction
Okay.
between strategic and tactical growth. And he argues that many entrepreneurs fall into the trap of applying tactical solutions
Yeah.
without addressing the underlying strategic issues.
So they're treating the symptoms,
Right.
but not the disease.
Exactly.
I see.
And he illustrates this point with an anecdote
Okay.
about a board member who wanted to spend a considerable sum
Mm-hmm.
on rebranding
Okay.
instead of tackling the root cause of their slow sales.
So they were focused on the image,
Right.
but not the substance.
Exactly. And this is a classic example of mistaking activity for progress.
You can be busy,
Right.
but not productive.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
So the key takeaway here is to ask those strategic questions,
Okay.
like why aren't our sales double what they are now,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just throwing tactical solutions at the problem?
Right. It's about understanding the root of the problem
Exactly.
and then figuring out how to fix it.
And this ties into his concept of building an exitable business,
Okay.
which, as you mentioned, your goals, is something that you're actively working towards.
Yeah. I want to build a business that I can eventually sell.
Right. And so he shifts the focus
Okay.
from exit strategies
Uh-huh.
to building a business that is inherently attractive to potential buyers
Mm-hmm.
and commands a high value.
So it's not just about planning to sell. It's
Yeah.
about building a business that someone would want to buy.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so he's saying it's not just about planning to sell.
Yeah.
It's about crafting a business
Mm-hmm.
with predictable income,
Mm-hmm.
strong management,
Okay.
and minimized risks.
So it's a well-oiled machine
Exactly.
that can run without you.
And making it far more appealing than one that's heavily reliant on the owner's personal involvement.
Right, because if you're the only one who can run the business,
Yeah.
it's not going to be worth very much
Not worth as much.
to someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's about creating a valuable asset
Mm-hmm.
that can stand on its own,
Uh-huh.
regardless of who's at the helm.
I like that.
And achieving that level of exitability
Yeah.
requires a proactive approach
Okay.
to minimizing both internal and external risks,
Mm-hmm.
understanding your financial levers,
Mm-hmm.
and diversifying your income streams.
So it's about building a really solid foundation
Absolutely.
for the business.
Before we move on, I want to touch upon one more crucial aspect
Okay.
that resonates with your desire to track progress effectively.
Yeah, I'm always looking for better ways to track my progress.
Yeah, and Cunningham emphasizes the importance of measurement,
Okay.
but not just tracking end results.
Oh, interesting.
He advocates for measuring the critical drivers of your business,
Okay.
the key activities that truly impact success.
So you're not just looking at the score,
Yeah.
you're looking at the stats.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
So measuring those drivers gives you real-time insights into what's working and what's not,
Okay.
like a dashboard alerting you to potential issues
Mm-hmm.
before they become major problems.
So you can course correct early on before it's too late.
It empowers you to make informed decisions,
Yeah.
course correct as needed, and ultimately stay ahead of the curve.
That's great.
I think this is a good place to pause for now.
Okay.
When we come back in part 2, we'll explore more of Cunningham's practical strategies and tools
Sounds good.
for implementing thinking time
Mm-hmm.
and avoiding those dumb things
Yeah.
that can hinder your business growth.
Looking forward to it. So picking up where we left off,
Yeah.
let's delve into some of the practical strategies Cunningham suggests for implementing thinking time.
Yeah.
It's one thing to grasp the concept, but actually putting it into practice requires a different approach.
Right. It's easy to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's harder to actually do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But how do we make that transition?
Well, Cunningham emphasizes approaching thinking time as a ritual,
Okay.
carving out that dedicated space in your schedule,
Huh.
creating an environment conducive to deep thought,
No.
and truly committing to the process.
So it's about making it a habit.
Exactly like any habit, it takes consistency and discipline to make it stick.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle,
Yeah.
is with that consistency,
Yeah.
because it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day.
Right. You get busy and
And
you forget to take that time for yourself.
Exactly. And he advocates for treating your business like an intellectual sport.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. Suggesting that you train your mind to think strategically,
Mm-hmm.
just like an athlete trains rigorously for competition.
Right. So you're constantly working on your mental game.
Yeah. It's about actively shaping your future,
Yeah.
not passively hoping for success.
I like that.
And one tool that he provides is a deceptively simple yet powerful question.
Mm.
And this is one that I really like.
Yeah.
He says, what's happening?
Okay.
That if it ceased, would cause the perceived problem to vanish.
Wow. That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
How fun.
It's a good question.
It is a really good question because it forces you to think about
Yeah.
the root of the problem,
Exactly.
not just the symptoms.
So forcing yourself to articulate the issue in this way
Okay.
can really unlock insightful answers.
I can see that.
And what's fascinating is how this question compels you to move beyond simply identifying symptoms
Mhm.
and forces you to contemplate those root causes.
Yeah. You're getting to the heart of the matter.
Right. It's about understanding the origin of the issue,
Yeah.
not just its surface level manifestations.
So you're digging deeper.
Digging deeper.
Okay.
You mentioned in your notes that assessing and managing risk is a key concern for you.
Oh, yeah, that's huge for me.
Yeah. And Cunningham offers a framework
Okay.
for analyzing potential risks. And he calls this the triangle of death.
Triangle of death.
Yeah. And this involves evaluating
Oh,
the
that's
likelihood of a risk occurring,
Mm-hmm.
its potential financial impact,
Mm-hmm.
and your level of control over it.
So you're looking at the probability,
Right.
the impact,
Yeah.
and the controllability.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so this tool encourages a proactive approach
Mm-hmm.
to risk management.
Yeah.
Instead of merely reacting to problems as they arise,
Right.
you're anticipating those potential pitfalls
Mm-hmm.
and developing strategies to mitigate them
Okay.
in advance.
I like that because it's being prepared.
Exactly.
It's not waiting for something bad to happen.
It's about moving beyond hoping for the best,
Yeah.
and actively creating a plan
Right.
to navigate those uncertainties inherent in any business.
Because there are always going to be uncertainties.
There are always going to be uncertainties.
Yeah.
Speaking of navigating uncertainty,
Okay.
you also expressed a desire to create a more robust
Mm-hmm.
and resilient company culture.
Oh, yeah. That's something that I'm really working on right now.
And Cunningham stresses the importance
Okay.
of cultivating a culture of accountability
Culture of accountability.
within your organization.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes beyond simply setting goals
Yeah.
and expecting people to achieve them.
Right. It's more than just saying, do this.
Exactly. It's about clearly defining expectations, establishing measurable standards,
Mm-hmm.
and providing regular feedback and coaching.
So you're giving people the tools they need to succeed.
Exactly. And he doesn't just advocate for holding employees accountable.
Okay.
He highlights the importance
Mm-hmm.
of holding yourself accountable
Oh, interesting.
as the leader.
So you're leading by example.
Leading by example.
Yeah.
It's about setting the tone,
Huh.
demonstrating that commitment to excellence,
Right.
and fostering an environment where everyone strives to reach their full potential.
I like that.
And he also delves into the significance
Oh.
of creating systems and processes
Yeah.
that support the seamless operation of your business.
So it's about building a business that can run without you.
Exactly. And this is about transitioning away
Mm-hmm.
from a heroic effort mentality
Okay.
where everything hinges on you personally.
Right.
And building a company that runs efficiently, even without your constant involvement.
So you're not the bottleneck.
You're not the bottleneck.
Yeah.
It's about creating leverage,
Uh-huh.
freeing yourself up to focus on those higher level strategic decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and building a business that can thrive independently,
Okay.
not solely reliant on your personal intervention.
So it's about building a sustainable business.
Building a sustainable business.
Yeah.
And he provides some concrete strategies for achieving this,
Oh, good.
such as documenting your processes,
Okay.
training employees to handle multiple roles,
Mm-hmm.
and establishing clear lines of responsibility.
So everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
And who to go to if they have questions.
Exactly. It's about creating a framework
Yeah.
where everyone understands what's expected of them
Okay.
and how their role contributes to the overall success of the organization.
I like that.
And he also emphasizes maintaining a balance
Mm-hmm.
between systems and flexibility. So while systems are essential for efficiency,
Yeah.
it's important to avoid becoming so rigid
Right.
that you lose the ability to adapt to changing circumstances.
So you need to be able to pivot.
You need to be able
You
to
know,
pivot.
there's there.
And this is where the advantage of being small comes in.
Oh, interesting.
Smaller companies often possess the agility to pivot and adapt
Mm-hmm.
more quickly than larger, more bureaucratic organizations.
Because they're not as bogged down by red tape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's about recognizing that the business landscape is constantly shifting
Right.
and being willing to adjust your approach as needed to stay ahead of the curve.
You have to be nimble.
You have to be nimble.
Yeah.
And Cunningham advocates for embracing curiosity,
Okay.
challenging assumptions,
Mm-hmm.
and being open to new ways of doing things,
So it's about having a growth mindset.
having a growth mindset.
Yeah.
And this connects directly
Okay.
to his discussion of strategic growth.
Mm.
He asserts that sustainable growth requires more than just increasing sales.
Oh, okay.
It's about creating a fundamentally sound,
Yeah.
well-managed business
Mm-hmm.
that's positioned for long-term success.
So it's about building a strong foundation.
Building a strong foundation.
Okay.
He encourages entrepreneurs
Uh-huh.
to deeply understand their target market,
Mm-hmm.
clearly articulate their value proposition,
Yeah.
and focus on building a business that genuinely meets the needs of their customers.
So it's about being customer-centric.
Customer-centric.
Yeah.
And he also challenges the notion
Okay.
that getting big is the ultimate measure of success.
Interesting.
True success, he argues,
Yeah.
lies in crafting a profitable, sustainable enterprise
Mm-hmm.
that is aligned with your personal values and goals.
So it's about building a business that you're passionate about.
Passionate about, and that aligns with your vision for your life.
Yeah.
It's about building a company
Yeah.
that not only generates income,
Mhm.
but also creates a positive impact
Right.
and allows you to live a fulfilling life.
So it's about more than just money.
More than just money.
Yeah.
Now let's shift our focus
Okay.
to a concept
Mm-hmm.
that Cunningham calls the options analysis matrix.
Options analysis matrix.
Yeah. And this is a tool for evaluating different options
Okay.
and making informed choices
Mm-hmm.
about your business.
So it's a way to make better decisions.
It's a way to make good decisions.
Yeah.
It's a way of systematically analyzing different choices,
Okay.
assessing their potential outcomes,
Uh-huh.
costs, and risks,
Yeah.
thereby taking some of the emotion out of the decision-making process
Okay.
and encouraging a more objective
You're right.
and strategic approach.
I like that.
So he recommends considering factors,
Okay.
just time,
Mm-hmm.
effort,
Okay.
money,
Yeah.
risk, and the potential consequences of each option.
So you're looking at it from all angles.
We're looking at it from all angles.
Yeah.
And by laying out these factors in a structured manner,
Okay.
you can clearly see the trade-offs involved and make choices
Yeah.
that are aligned with your priorities and goals.
That makes sense.
So it's about moving beyond gut feelings
Right.
and considering the ramifications
Yeah.
of each choice
Mm-hmm.
before taking action.
I like that.
And this aligns with your desire
Okay.
to make more data-driven decisions.
Yeah. I want to be more objective in my decision making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Cunningham also stresses the importance of regularly revisiting
Mm-hmm.
and refining your business model.
Okay.
He argues that complacency can be detrimental,
Yeah.
and even successful ventures
Mm-hmm.
need to constantly evolve
Right.
to stay relevant and competitive.
You can't just rest on your laurels.
You can't just rest on your laurels.
Yeah.
So it's about challenging the status quo,
Mm.
being willing to experiment,
Okay.
and continuously seeking ways to improve your business.
So it's about having a continuous improvement mindset.
Continuous improvement mindset.
Yeah.
He encourages entrepreneurs to ask questions.
Okay.
Like, if I could start my business from scratch today,
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I know now,
Yeah.
what would I do differently?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a really good question.
Because it forces you to think about things from a fresh perspective.
Yeah, and to really challenge your assumptions.
Yeah.
And this question can spark insightful thinking
Mm-hmm.
and lead to those aha moments
Okay.
that can transform your business.
I like that.
So it's about embracing that mindset
Yeah.
of continuous improvement
Mm-hmm.
and seeking opportunities to innovate
Okay.
and optimize your operations.
So you're always looking for ways to get better.
Always looking for ways to get better.
Yeah.
And this ties into his emphasis on building an exitable business,
Right.
which we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
by proactively addressing potential risks,
Mm-hmm.
creating systems that support efficient operation,
Uh-huh.
and assembling a strong management team.
Yeah.
You're not only setting your business up for long-term success,
Right.
but you're also creating a valuable asset
Mm-hmm.
that could be attractive to potential buyers in the future.
So you're building a business that someone would want to buy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about thinking beyond just the day-to-day operations
Okay.
and creating a business that's inherently valuable and sustainable,
Uh-huh.
regardless of who's at the helm.
Yeah. So it's about building a legacy.
Building a legacy.
Yeah.
And this resonates with your goal
Okay.
of building a legacy
Mm-hmm.
that extends beyond your direct involvement.
Yeah. I want to build something that will last even after I'm gone.
Now let's dive into a concept that
Okay.
Cunningham calls the bathrobe theory of business.
The bathrobe theory of business.
Yeah, it's a metaphor
Okay.
for those times when a good idea or strategy stops working
Uh-huh.
and you find yourself clinging to it,
Yeah.
even though it's no longer serving you.
So it's like that comfortable old pair of shoes that you just can't seem to get rid of.
It's like that comfy old bathrobe
Yeah.
that you love,
Mm-hmm.
but has become worn out and threadbare.
Right.
You know, you need to replace it,
Yeah.
but you're so attached to it
Mm-hmm.
that you keep wearing it,
Yeah.
even though it's no longer serving its purpose.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. And in business,
Okay.
this can manifest as clinging to outdated products,
Mm-hmm.
marketing approaches,
Right.
or operational strategies,
Yeah.
even when they're no longer generating the desired results.
So you're stuck in the past.
You're stuck in the past.
Yeah.
He uses the example of the newspaper industry,
Okay.
which for years resisted the shift to online news delivery.
Right.
They clung to their print editions,
Yeah.
even as readership dwindled and advertising revenue plummeted.
And they paid the price for it.
And they paid the price for it.
Yeah.
By the time they realized the need to adapt,
Yeah.
it was often too late.
So you got to be willing to change.
You got to be willing to change.
Yeah.
And this highlights the danger of becoming complacent
Right.
and relying on past successes.
Yeah. Just because something worked in the past
Right?
doesn't mean it's going to work in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What worked yesterday might not work today.
Mm-hmm.
And clinging to those outdated methods
Yeah.
can lead to stagnation and decline.
So you got to be innovative.
You got to be innovative.
Yeah.
And Cunningham emphasizes the importance
Okay.
of staying curious,
Mm-hmm.
questioning assumptions,
Mm-hmm.
and being willing to challenge the status quo.
So don't be afraid to ask why.
Don't be afraid to ask why.
Yeah.
It's about embracing a growth mindset
Okay.
and constantly seeking ways to innovate and evolve.
So you're always learning.
Always learning.
Always growing.
Always growing.
Yeah.
And this ties into his emphasis
Okay.
on measuring those critical drivers of your business,
Mm-hmm.
which we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
By tracking key metrics,
Okay.
you can identify those early warning signs that indicate a need to adjust your approach.
So you're not just reacting, you're being
You're
proactive.
being proactive.
Yeah.
It's about being proactive rather than reactive and using data
Yeah.
to guide your decision-making.
I like that.
He also discusses the importance of building a strong and cohesive team.
Yeah.
He argues that even the most brilliant business idea
Mm-hmm.
will struggle to succeed
Uh-huh.
without a team of talented and dedicated individuals
Right.
who can execute it effectively.
You need the right people on the bus.
You need the right people on the bus.
Yeah.
And building a high-performing team
Okay.
goes beyond just hiring skilled individuals.
Mm.
It's about creating a culture
Yeah.
that fosters collaboration,
Mm-hmm.
open communication,
Okay.
and a shared commitment to excellence.
So it's about creating a positive work environment.
Creating a positive work environment.
Yeah.
He provides some practical tips for achieving this.
Such as clearly defining roles and responsibilities,
Okay.
setting clear expectations,
Mm-hmm.
providing ongoing training and development opportunities,
Uh-huh.
and establishing systems for recognizing and rewarding high performance.
So you're investing in your people.
Investing in your people.
Yeah.
It's about creating an environment
Okay.
where everyone feels valued,
Mhm.
supported, and
Uh-huh.
empowered
Yeah.
to contribute their best work.
I like that.
He also emphasizes the importance
Okay.
of building a company culture
Mm-hmm.
that prioritizes customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
It's about going beyond just providing a product or service
Okay.
and truly understanding the needs and expectations of your customers.
So it's about being customer-centric.
Customer-centric.
Yeah.
He advocates for creating a customer-centric culture
Okay.
where every decision and action is made with customer in mind.
So the customer is always top of mind.
The customer is always top of mind.
Yeah.
This involves actively seeking feedback.
Being responsive to customer needs
Uh-huh.
and constantly seeking ways to improve the customer experience.
So you're always looking for ways to delight your customers.
Always looking for ways to delight your customers.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that your customers are the lifeblood of your business.
Right.
And creating a culture
Yeah.
that reflects that understanding.
I like that.
Cunningham also discusses the importance
Okay.
of building a business
Yeah.
that's not only profitable,
Mm-hmm.
but also aligned with your personal values and goals. So it's about building a business that you can be proud of.
Yeah.
It's about creating a business
Okay.
that allows you to live a fulfilling life,
Mm-hmm.
both personally and professionally.
So it's about finding that balance.
Finding that balance.
Yeah.
He encourages entrepreneurs to ask questions
Okay.
like, what kind of lifestyle do I want to create?
Uh-huh.
And what kind of impact do I want to have on the world?
Mm-hmm.
And then to build a business that supports those aspirations.
So it's about aligning your business with your values.
Aligning your business with your values.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing
Okay.
that business success isn't just about making money.
Yeah.
It's about creating a life
Mm-hmm.
that's meaningful and rewarding on multiple levels.
I like that.
And this ties into his emphasis
Okay.
on building an exitable business
Hi.
by creating a business
Yeah.
that's inherently valuable and sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
You're not only setting yourself up for long-term financial success,
Right.
but you're also creating a legacy
Uh-huh.
that can continue to thrive
Yeah.
even after you moved on to other pursuits,
So you're building something that will outlast you.
building something that will outlast you.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears
Yeah.
and explore a concept
Mm-hmm.
that Cunningham calls the generalizations kill clarity principle.
Generalizations kill clarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the danger
Uh-huh.
of vague language
Okay.
and the importance
Yeah.
of being specific and precise
Mm-hmm.
in your thinking
Okay.
and communication.
So it's about being clear.
Being clear.
Yeah.
He argues that generalizations
Mm-hmm.
can lead to misunderstandings,
Mm-hmm.
misaligned expectations,
Okay.
and ultimately poor decision-making.
So it's important to be specific.
Be specific.
Yeah.
It's about being clear and concise in your communication,
Okay.
defining terms precisely,
Mm.
and avoiding ambiguous language.
Yeah.
That can be interpreted in multiple ways,
So you're leaving no room for interpretation.
leaving no room for interpretation.
Yeah.
He provides some practical tips
good.
for achieving this,
Okay.
such as using quantifiable metrics whenever possible,
Mm-hmm.
providing concrete examples,
Uh-huh.
and avoiding vague terms
Yeah.
like improve,
Okay.
enhance,
Mhm.
or optimize
Yeah.
without clearly defining what those
Mhm.
terms mean
Okay.
in a specific context.
So you're not just throwing around buzzwords.
You're not just throwing around buzzwords.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing
Okay.
that clarity is essential for
Yeah.
effective communication and decision-making,
Okay.
and that generalizations
Yeah.
can often obscure
Yeah.
rather than illuminate
Right.
the issues at hand.
It can muddy the waters.
They can muddy the waters.
Yeah.
Cunningham also discusses the importance
Okay.
of challenging assumptions
Mm-hmm.
and being willing to question conventional wisdom.
Okay.
He argues that many entrepreneurs fall into the trap
Yeah.
of blindly following advice or trends
Mm-hmm.
without critically evaluating their applicability to their specific situation.
So just because something worked for someone else
Right.
doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing
Right.
that every business is unique.
Yeah.
And that what works for one entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
might not work for another.
Right.
It's about being willing to think for yourself,
Okay.
challenge the status quo,
Mm-hmm.
and create a business
Yeah.
that's truly tailored to your individual strengths,
Uh-huh.
goals,
Huh?
and market conditions.
Oh, it's about finding your own.
Finding your own path.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this ties into his emphasis
All right.
on dedicating thinking time to your business.
Right.
It's about carving out that space
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
reflect,
Mm-hmm.
analyze,
Mm.
and develop
Okay.
those innovative solutions
Yeah.
that can propel your business forward.
So you're not just reacting, you're
Uh,
thinking ahead.
Thinking ahead,
Yeah.
he encourages entrepreneurs
Okay.
to cultivate a mindset
Mm-hmm.
of continuous learning and improvement,
Uh-huh.
to be open to new ideas,
Okay.
and to actively seek out knowledge and insights
Yeah.
that can help them grow
Mm-hmm.
and evolve their businesses.
So you're always learning.
Always learning.
Yeah.
He advocates
Okay.
for surrounding yourself with mentors,
Mm-hmm.
advisors,
Uh-huh.
and peers who can challenge your thinking,
Okay.
offer different perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and provide support and guidance
Yeah.
as you navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship.
So you're not in it alone?
You're not in it alone.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that you don't have to have all the answers,
Right.
and that seeking out diverse viewpoints
Yeah.
can lead to better decision-making
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately greater success.
I like that.
Now let's explore a concept
Okay.
that Cunningham calls the apology.
The apology.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's about recognizing the importance
Mm-hmm.
of acknowledging
Okay.
and taking responsibility
Yeah.
for your mistakes.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one, yeah.
He argues that many entrepreneurs are reluctant to admit their errors,
Uh-huh.
fearing that it will make them appear weak or incompetent.
Yeah, that's a common fear.
However, he
Yeah.
believes that a sincere apology can actually strengthen relationships and build trust.
It seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, but it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's about demonstrating humility,
Okay.
acknowledging the impact of your actions,
Uh-huh.
and taking steps to rectify the situation.
Right.
He emphasizes that an apology isn't about making excuses
Yeah.
or shifting blame, but taking ownership
Okay.
and demonstrating a commitment to making things right.
I like that.
It's about saying, I messed up and I'm going to do everything I can to fix it.
Right, and that shows real leadership.
It does.
You mentioned that building trust with your team is a major focus for you right now.
Oh, yeah. It's essential.
Yeah, and this concept of the apology seems particularly relevant to that goal.
Absolutely.
So how can we actually put this into practice?
Well, Cunningham provides some practical tips for crafting an effective apology,
Okay.
like being specific about the mistake you made, acknowledging its impact on others,
Right.
expressing remorse,
Okay.
and outlining steps you'll take to prevent similar errors in the future.
So it's a very thoughtful process.
It is.
It's not just saying I'm sorry and moving on.
No, it's about really owning up to your mistakes
Yeah.
and taking action to correct them.
It's refreshing to hear someone advocate for this level of transparency and accountability in leadership.
Yeah, it's not something you hear very often.
It seems counterintuitive,
Mm.
but Owning up to mistakes can actually strengthen your position rather than weaken it.
Exactly.
It shows that you're human,
Uh-huh.
that you're not perfect,
Yeah.
and that you're willing to learn from your mistakes.
And people respect that.
They do.
He also discusses the importance of creating a company culture
Okay.
that encourages open communication and feedback,
Hmm.
where employees feel comfortable raising concerns,
Yeah.
sharing ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and providing constructive criticism without fear of retribution.
So it's a safe space
It is.
where people can speak their minds.
Exactly.
This creates an environment
Yeah.
where everyone feels safe to speak their mind,
Mm-hmm.
share their perspective,
Uh-huh.
and contribute to the continuous improvement of the company.
Right. It's about creating a culture of learning.
Learning and growth.
Yeah.
It's about fostering a culture of psychological safety,
Okay.
which ultimately leads to better decision-making and innovation.
I like that.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into the road less stupid,
Okay.
I want to highlight one more concept
Yeah.
that aligns with your desire to build a lasting business.
Yeah, that's important to me.
Cunningham emphasizes the importance of building a sustainable business,
Sustainable business.
which goes beyond just generating profits.
Okay.
It's about crafting a venture that can thrive over the long term,
Yeah.
even amidst changing market conditions and unforeseen obstacles.
So it's about building a resilient business.
A resilient business.
Yeah.
This involves factors
Okay.
such as building a strong brand reputation,
Mm-hmm.
cultivating a loyal customer base,
Uh-huh.
creating a positive work environment,
Okay.
and establishing ethical and sustainable business practices.
So it's about doing things the right way.
Doing things the right way.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that true business success isn't just about short-term gains,
Right.
but about creating something that can weather storms
Mm-hmm.
and continue generating value for years to come.
So it's about building a legacy.
Building a legacy.
Yeah.
Now, as promised,
Okay.
let's distill some of the key takeaways
Uh-huh.
from The Road Less Stupid
Mm-hmm.
into a concise 10-point summary
Okay.
that you can use as a roadmap for building a more successful and fulfilling business.
That would be great.
Having these actionable points
Yeah.
will be incredibly helpful for applying these concepts to my own entrepreneurial journey.
Absolutely.
So let's hear it.
Here are 10 powerful takeaways from The Road Less Stupid.
Okay.
Number 1, embrace thinking time. Dedicate time to strategic thinking and analyzing potential pitfalls before taking action.
That's a great one.
Number 2, avoid double bogeys. Recognize that mistakes are inevitable, but compounding them with rushed or emotional decisions creates the real damage.
So think before you act.
Exactly.
Okay, what's number 3?
Number 3, wear all 4 hats. Embrace the roles of artist, operator, owner, and board in your business, recognizing that each perspective is crucial.
So don't be afraid to wear different hats.
Exactly.
Okay.
Number 4, passive income is a myth. Sustainable success requires continuous effort and smart leverage, not a hands-off approach.
So there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Very much.
Okay.
Number 5, embrace change. The business landscape is constantly evolving, so cultivate curiosity, humility, and a willingness to adapt and learn.
So be a lifelong learner.
Exactly.
Okay.
Number 6, think strategically. Don't just apply tactical solutions. Identify underlying causes of problems and develop strategies to address them.
Get to the root of the problem.
Exactly.
Okay. Number 7, build an exitable business. Focus on creating a business that's inherently valuable and attractive to potential buyers.
So build something that someone else would want to buy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Number 8, measure the critical drivers. Go beyond tracking end results and measure the key activities that drive your business success. So don't just look at the score, look at the stats.
Right. Number 9, prioritize major outcomes. Focus on the few key initiatives that will have the most significant impact on your business and align your resources accordingly.
So focus on what really matters.
Exactly.
All right? And number 10,
Number 10, cultivate courage. Be willing to ask for help, admit mistakes, and have tough conversations. Embrace feedback as an opportunity for growth.
so be brave.
Be brave.
I like that.
Those are 10 powerful points to keep in mind.
They are incredibly powerful points.
I especially appreciate the emphasis on strategic thinking,
Yeah.
embracing change, and building a sustainable business.
Those resonate deeply with my goals and the challenges I'm facing right now.
Well, remember, by embracing these principles and dedicating that thinking time to your business, you can build a venture that's not only successful, but also fulfilling and aligned with your values.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure exploring these concepts with you today.
It has been a truly insightful deep dive into Cunningham's wisdom. I feel equipped with valuable knowledge to apply to my entrepreneurial journey. Before we part ways, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question to consider.
Okay.
What one decision could you make today that would significantly alter the trajectory of your business in the next year? Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep avoiding those dumb things that can derail your success.